Very pleasant Saturday evening to you, and welcome to the Max Stern Athletic Center. Tonight, where the 19-2 Yeshiva University Maccabees will take on the St. Joseph's College of Long Island Eagles. My name is David Schwartzman. Next to me is my colleague, Akiva Poppers. Akiva hasn't been in the booth since earlier in the season against when the Max took on Lycoming. Akiva, welcome back in.
Thank you very much, Dave. It's great to be here.
So next Saturday night is already senior night. It seems like the season just started, just yesterday. What has the Max journey looked like leading up until now?
Well, I'll tell you what, in recent times, the Max have struggled. It's not been pleasant. Against Farmingdale State on Saturday night last week, the Max lost their second game of the year, their first Skyline game in 34 times in 3 years. And then against Old Westbury, a bottom of the Skyline team this week, they barely won just by 6. So it's not been pleasant recently.
So although there's been some recent struggles, who's one player that's kind of been able to excel through the adversity that the Max have had?
Well, it's been Gabe Leifer the last 2 games. Gabe Leifer has averaged 15.5 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. He's been a dominant force. He's starting to feel himself. We're starting to see the old Gabe Leifer, and that is a great sign.
Moving on to the other side, St. Joe's Long Island. They come here for the first time this season. What has their journey looked like so far?
Well, I'll tell you what, St. Joe's Long Island, not known generally as a top of the Skyline team, but I'll tell you what, they're 12-8, 8-5 in conference. Times are changing in Patchogue. This is a young team. This is a great team. They're strong inside. They're currently the number 5 seed in the Skyline Conference. Look out for them. Now,
who's one player on the Eagles we can look for that maybe will light up the stat sheet?
It's got to be sophomore big man Spencer Malloy. Really his first year because they did not play last season. He has been tremendous this year, especially getting catches low down. He's their leading scorer. He's their leading rebounder. He's a force inside. The Max cannot let him get touches down there.
Now, this game is going to have a lot of keys to them, so give us Popper's keys to the game.
That's right. Well, let's start on the offensive side of the ball. The turnovers recently have been abysmal. The Max are averaging for the season 14.5 turnovers a game. St. Joe's Long Island averages 9 steals a game. And against Old Westbury, the Max has just 15 assists to 18 turnovers. That is unacceptable. That'll be a huge issue. Why? Because it takes away possessions for the Max to score. And we know this is an efficient Max offense, which has not been so efficient recently. On the year, 62% two-point field goals. In the last 2 games, just 52%. The Max need to get cleaner on their backdoor cuts, on their off-ball screens. It just has not been working recently. And lastly, it all starts on the defensive end, where the Max have been really brutal in the last 2 games. Allowing dribble penetration, middle drives. It allows for drivers to kick out to shooters, especially if you look at 2 games ago against Farmingdale State. They had a small guy, 5'10", who was just cutting the Max up inside. Farmingdale State shot 58.8% from 3 that game, and that is why they won. Old Westbury, too, shot 48% from 3. St. Joe's Long Island will get hot from 3 if the Max allow them to. So the Max cannot allow for dribble penetration.
When we return, player intros, anthems, starting lineups coming at you soon on MaxLive.com.
Hey Max fans, this is Joseph Gittler, YU class of 1996, founder and chairman of Leket Israel. The skies are reopening, so come and volunteer with us in Israel as soon as you make it here. Please also consider supporting us as you think about your charity. And of course, go Max!
Looking to move to a new Jewish community? With so many places to choose from, where do you start? The OU Community Fair has you covered. Take a virtual road trip to over 60 communities in 22 states spanning the U.S. and Israel. Gather all the information you need in just a few short hours. Join us on February 13th and register at ou.org/fair.
I was in 9th grade, someone told me to give up on ball. He told me, basketball will only take you so far in life. You're not going to make it to the NBA, he said. What he was missing is that making it to the NBA isn't the only reason why we play. The game of basketball leaves you with so much more than just the game itself. The life lessons and friendships that are made while playing the game will outlive the game and can last a lifetime.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center, where the Yeshiva University Maccabees are looking forward to taking on the St. Joe's Long Island Golden Eagles. The Max, as we mentioned before, coming off a rocky week, or a rockier week than they've been used to in recent past. Losing to Farmingdale State last Saturday night, close one against Old Westbury, just earlier on, a little later in the week. And so tonight, St. Joe's comes in, and they're looking to kind of create a havoc themselves on what has been not the prettiest time frame for the Maccabees.
Yeah, well, the Maccabees are struggling recently, and that is a major problem. We're kind of at a turning point in the year right now. Are the Macs going to show up, or are they going to go to sleep? There's blood in the water, and it's time for the Macs to show who they are.
Yeah, and last Saturday night, they had a lot of size issues. Dominique Sanat providing really good minutes for Farmingdale. What St. Joe's going to maybe try to do tonight to kind of replicate that?
Yeah, St. Joe's, they're decent at shooting, but it really all starts with Spencer Malloy inside. They're going to try to get him post touches, and they're going to try to get him working early.
Yeah, and I think one thing St. Joe's is going to look to do as well is utilize their size. The Hurt brothers, Timothy and Matthew, both at a decent size, and they're going to try to use them in their capacities to create some trouble for the Macs.
Yeah, Timothy is the real size issue if you want to choose from the Hurt brothers. Inside guy and tough. Matthew is more of a skill guy, but it's going to be an interesting matchup.
And we'll head down to Greg Fox with the national anthems.
This evening performed by Ethan Dunn.
we're back with you from the unnamed broadcast booth in the Max Stern Athletic Center. Ready for tip-off here with Yeshiva University Maccabees taking on the St. Joe's LI Eagles. And you know, the Macs come in 19-2. And over the last week, the question kind of creeps into your mind. How important are these games? How much of a must-win is tonight against the fifth seed St. Joe's Eagles?
Well, I'll tell you what, Farmingdale currently coming into today, sitting at 11-2 in conference, the Macs sitting at 12-1. What does that mean? It means that if the Macs lose another game, they are tied with Farmingdale, and Farmingdale would have the tiebreaker because Farmingdale's lone loss outside of the Macs was against an out-of-division opponent. The skyline's a little complicated. St. Joe's Long Island's in the Macs division. So if the Macs lose this game, they are the 3 seed right now after this game, not the 1 seed anymore. That would be a major issue. The Macs cannot afford that.
Yes, and for St. Joe's, coming into tonight, it's kind of situationally what can happen for them moving forward as we're creeping towards the end of the Skyline Conference regular season.
Yeah, I think for St. Joe's, it's more of a concern of let's keep rolling. Before their loss to Farmingdale earlier this week, they had won 6 games in a row against Skyline Conference opponents. They're kind of stuck at the 5 seed. They could blow it, but there's really no way for them to move up from the 5 seed. So for them, it's more of a case of continuing to develop as they are a young team.
And how different do you think a team like St. Joe's is from that first match that they played each other?
Oh, very different. I mean, the Macs that was their 40th win in a row. For St. Joe's, that was their 3rd game since 2020. And as a young team, they were a completely different version of themselves than they are right now. So do not take from that 82 to 58 win anything, really, as to how good St. Joe's Long Island is.
Starting lineups are sponsored by the Yeshiva University Office of Admissions. As we start the college journey, make sure you visit us online to check out all the great virtual events and opportunities we have for YU students and how you too can be a mentor. So for the Golden Eagles, it's Gordon Schwartzman, Jake Gaudiello, Alec Tabata, Matt Hearn, and Spencer Malloy. And you know, this team is the centerpiece and really star of this team is Spencer Malloy, as we mentioned before. He's only a sophomore, and so what kind of problems does this team pose, you know, for the future of the Skyline Conference in the next couple of years?
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of problems. Malloy, a sophomore. Tabata, a freshman. Those are their best 2 players. That's issues. And Timothy Hurd as well is a sophomore. Gaudiello, a junior. St. Joe's College, Long Island will cause some big issues for the Skyline Conference next year. Look out for them.
And starting for the Macs, it's Gabriel Leifer, Ryan Terrell, Ofek Reef, Eitan Halbert, and Matan Zucker. So a little bit different tonight. Matan Zucker starting in place of Armstrong. What do we make of that?
Yeah, well, we spoke to Coach Steinmetz. He said that the reason Matan started last game against Old Westbury, which was his first start of the year, was a matchup thing. He's continuing to roll with Zucker, who has been fantastic of late. Armstrong has had some issues on the defensive end, some issues on the offensive end. He's been hot, sometimes cold, other times. Zucker has gotten Coach Steinmetz what he wants, and so he's been rolling with it.
And you know, Coach Steinmetz kind of also hinted upon, you know, what do you do when you when you run into kind of the sort of struggles that the Macs had over the last couple of years, as Ryan Terrell is going to get recognized for his accomplishments. Not exactly sure which accomplishment that is. Maybe you could shed light on that. Didn't exactly hear.
Yeah, I believe this is his accomplishment for setting the all-time record. I'm not sure why they didn't do it at last game, but they did it now. So congrats to Ryan, the #1 all-time scorer in YU history.
And just kind of as we're on accomplishment watch, quote unquote, Ryan's at 1,953 points, 47 away from 2,000. Unlikely, but never rule it out for Ryan Terrell.
You never know, but hopefully the Macs don't need 47 from Terrell tonight.
Malloy going over to shake hands with the Macs as we look to get tip-off started here. It looks like Tabata is going to take for the St. Joe's Golden Eagles. Always love a team with Golden in front, kind of like the Golden Knights. And Zucker, so it's going to be 22 on 22.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, this is also interesting because Zucker's 6'4" and Tabata is 6'3". I don't think we've ever seen this season a shorter tip-off than that.
And tip-off's one back to the Golden Eagles, who are going to look to try to get something going here early on. Tabata trying to make something happen from the Golden Eagles side of things. Hurt knocks a 3 as the Golden Eagles take an early lead.
Yeah, we saw Zucker stay middle, pass all the way to the other side, and he stayed middle, and that left the rotations messed up for the Macs.
And Zucker versus Armstrong is going to kind of be the topic of the times, as it's very practical. Everybody's kind of wondering what are the Macs going to do in terms of those two getting playing time, as Ofek Reef sinks one in to cut it to a 3-2 game.
That was a pretty backdoor cut from Reef. Good sign for the Macs.
And Gabe Leifer, I don't know if this is surprising or not, but he's 4th in Division III with assists there with 148, making it 149. But he is just dominating his stat sheet with assists. Malloy tries getting it, but Zucker playing him tough and denied him. Not even really a great look from Malloy.
We see St. Joe's Long Island in a 2-3 zone. That's what they've been in for most of the year, especially as late.
And Malloy with Gabe Leifer trying to bring it in on Malloy. Malloy getting his hand on the ball. So far, a lot of energy from both sides. Not surprising at all. One thing the Macs have kind of lacked is sustaining that energy. We'll see how that fares for them tonight. Coach Steinmetz kind of spoke about that the other day. As here goes Halpert for 3. That goes around the rim. That's no good.
But that's still perfect basketball against the zone. Zucker getting a touch against the back end, and Halpert is obviously going to be open in the corner.
And Halpert's been lethal from three-point, and he's 1st in Division III, 48.8 three-point percentage. So they got to watch him do the St. Joe's Golden Eagles as Gabe Leifer takes it away. He goes in, gives it over to Halpert. Halpert goes up. He gets fouled. Gaudiello coming back and fouling Halpert as he looks to drive. He'll head to the line for 2.
Yeah, that's good headiness from Leifer, and we see the Macs on the defensive end. They're leaving a player on the opposite corner open. They're focusing in on Malloy.
So Halpert heads to the line for 2. We're still early on in this one. As he misses the first uncharacteristically. And hits the second and makes the 3-3 game. The Golden Eagles passing around the perimeter, trying to find something to get going. Tabata goes up in a nice move.
Yeah, Tabata, the freshman, very athletic, getting to the rack there. Put St. Joe's Long Island up 5-3.
So it's 5-3 St. Joe's. Reef trying to find Gabe Leifer. He goes in and he hits it. And Coach Steinmetz was mentioning as well that he feels like Gabe's really finding his rhythm here these last couple of weeks.
That's right. He said at the beginning of the year, Gabe was not really there. He's obviously got a lot on his plate, and the practices and games that the Macs have had of late have really gotten Gabe Leifer going.
Taken back by the Macs as they'll look to start things on their own end. Ryan goes up. He gets his first 2 of the night. Smacks take the lead 7-5.
Yeah, and good shooting for both ends so far. Max over 75%. And St. Joe's Long Island is at 66.
As Matthew Hurt takes a 3, that's no good. Gabe Leifer with a rebound. He's been, we mentioned the assists before, but he's 11th in Division III with 182 defensive rebounds, showing why there. As that's taken back by Spencer Malloy. He causes problems down there in the paint.
He does. He's only 6'4", but he's a big boy. And his size kind of fills the gaps in the zone.
The way they're running through him kind of reminds me a little bit of Donny Katz in a way.
I can hear that.
Donny Katz, the coach for the Macs, was on the 2019-2020 run team. As that one's taken from Malloy. Looks like he'll shoot 2. But that was no good. Taken back by the Macs.
That's good defense from the Macs, just denying the post touches and creating issues for St. Joe's Long Island. They had to settle for that long shot.
Terrell had a wide open underneath. He decided not to go with it. And they're still playing with in their own end. Here he goes, though. Denied by Tabata. So only 6'3" is Tabata going up against the taller Terrell, but he denies him, trying to go up as Ryan, will not head to the line for 2. Ryan finds Zucker, goes up, and he'll head to the line. As Matan Zucker heads to the line for 2, let's take a look at tonight's trivia question of the game. What was the last time St. Joseph's Long Island defeated the Max?
Well,
no cheating.
Yeah, we said St. Joe's Long Island has not been a top team in the conference for a while. So obviously it hasn't been in recent years. I'm interested to see when it was.
And then they went to the Skyline Conference Championship as recent as 2014, 2015, just to kind of give everybody maybe a little bit of a clue around the what we're kind of dealing with in terms of time frame.
Yeah, and their recent 6-game winning streak was their longest in 10 years.
So just so everybody kind of has an idea of what where to kind of think in terms of years, 2014, 2015, way before this group of Maccabees was intact. So it's 8-5 Max. No one really getting their offensive flow going just yet. Tabata from 3. That's good. And that's kind of the issue that the Max have been having, leaving guys with just a little bit too much space to shoot on the perimeter.
Yeah, but that was still a strong defensive possession for the Max. They didn't allow middle drive, and it was a late shot clock 3 from a guy who's he's one of the better options, but he's shooting just 26% from 3 this year.
Timeout called by St. Joe's, and so it's 10-8 Maccabees, and we'll head to sideline suits himself, S.J. Tannenbaum.
We've said this before, but the Max team we've seen over the past few games has not been the same team as the one that's won games by 30 points every game at the beginning of the season. Coach Steinmetz said that this team is playing with less confidence than they were earlier and that opponents sense blood in the water. Coach Steinmetz said as well that the adversity isn't necessarily a bad thing, saying that if we can adjust to it, we'll be in a better spot than we would have otherwise heading into the NCAA tournament. But if we don't adjust, we won't have as many of these production meetings as we want to. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, SJ. 10-8 Max, 14:52 left.
I enjoy the production meetings with Coach Steinmetz. I hope we have many more this year.
And yes, meeting with some of these coaches is a lot of fun. I need to give a shout out to Coach McSloy of St. Joe's. What a pleasure that was to speak with him. A lot of great insight about the Skyline Conference, St. Joe's, about the Max, what outsiders think of the Max, an outsider like Coach McSloy, and just really, really fascinating getting to spend a couple minutes with him.
Yeah, it's always great to talk to coaches before the game. This right here is the shot clock not running, and scorers table have reset it to 28 and then now to 27, and now the referees are talking about it.
Ferrafino checks in for St. Joe's LI. Otherwise, the personnel all pretty much sticking the same, both sides. Tabata, even though he took that tip in the beginning, he's been playing a lot on the perimeter for them. And Gaudiello has had his hands on the ball quite a lot early on, as a little bit of a bounce there for Scholler. And he gives St. Joe's a 1-point lead.
Yeah, and Ofek went for the skip pass, and that took the Max out of their defensive rotation, middle drive, and there's the 3. We've seen it way too many times as of late. Ofek was close, but it messes up the rotations.
Defensively trying to fine-tune things are the Max. Heading into the Skyline Conference playoff. Terrell puts one up. That's easy money. He's almost automatic from that spot on the court.
He'll have it all night if he wants it against the zone. And it's not the best shot on the court, but it's Ryan Terrell.
And Ryan Terrell never shying away from a shot that's not the best shot on the court.
Yeah, I tell you what, we spoke to Coach Steinmetz about one of those exact situations. Against Farmingdale State, the last play of the game, essentially, when Terrell drove into a double team and took a 20-foot or so turnaround J, and Coach Steinmetz said, I wouldn't have changed anything about the possession in terms of trusting my guys, except I probably should have called a timeout when he drove into the double team.
Yeah, and speaking a little bit about that game, you know, Coach was kind of also speaking about what went on at halftime in the locker room.
Yeah, he said he doesn't say anything in those situations. He told the players, you talk for yourselves, and Eitan Halpert was the one who spoke up the most.
Speaking of Eitan, he dishes it down to Terrell, who tried one too many passes to Zucker, and it was taken away by St. Joe's.
Yeah, it looked like a little contact there, but the refs letting them play on.
It looks like maybe the Macs trying to revert back to their old ways of really being very unselfish with the ball, or maybe being a little bit too unselfish here early on.
Well, I'm fine seeing it against the zone. The talent will take over once the IQ comes to play.
And a great look there from Scholler, floats it over Zucker and Leifer, two guys much bigger than him. He gets it to go.
Yeah, St. Joe's Long Island is hitting their shots. They're shooting 6 for 8 from the floor.
And one common theme, I would say, of the two losses to Illinois Wesleyan and Farmingdale was just great shot making from the other side and really took the Macs out of their rhythm.
That's right, but yes, of course, the shots were going down, but the Macs kind of helped. Here, the Macs haven't helped so much. I think I've liked them a little bit on the defensive end. Obviously, they haven't been perfect, but St. Joe's Long Island is also hitting their shots.
As Gabe Leifer is going to be called on Malloy. Excuse me. It'll be going Mac's way.
Yeah, they called a jump ball, all ball for Gabe Leifer there. We see the Macs with their first substitutions of the game.
And that's the type of thing that's going to, for sure, ignite this Macs team. We've seen it before. They will take energy from any which way they can. And that the bench was very excited about as Ethan Lasko checks in for the Macs.
Yeah, Lasko is known as an energy guy. He only played 7 minutes last game. Coach Steinmetz called it a momentum and matchup thing, just like the Zucker.
Leifer goes up, and he has just been money from under the hoop so far tonight, and really as of late.
The Macs are carving up the zone, and it's gotten them to 14 points in just 8 minutes.
Now St. Joe's looks to respond. As Ferrafino sinks a two-pointer, and a little bit of a back and forth here between the Macs and the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, both Malloy and Ferrafino shooting 20-foot jumpers from that exact spot on the floor. I'm really not sure why. I guess St. Joe's Long Island will take it if it goes down, but it's not the greatest shot, and those won't be falling all game.
Leifer for 3, no good. A little too much on that one, but R.D. Markovich comes down with it.
Yeah, it was a great tip out there.
As Terrell goes up, and he's money. He's feeling it tonight. He's got some sort of touch for the ball. Max back up by 1.
That one looked pretty. That's from the spot in the zone, which is always going to be open.
And one thing I thought Coach Steinmetz, when we were speaking with him, that I found to be really interesting was that he's really comfortable with Gabe taking a couple more shots than we might be accustomed to early on in this season. As Lasko comes away with it, he's going in. He's on Malloy. Malloy cleanly takes it back from him. Not a good take there from Lasko as Scholler brings it back up for the Golden Eagles.
I mean, I think we've seen that in about 2 of the last 4 games at least, where Lasko is the only one down on the other side of the floor against about 2 or 3 players, and he hasn't made a single one of those shots.
And I'm guessing Coach Steinmetz really wants Lasko to slow that one down, let things develop a little more. That's the Max bread and butter. As Ryan Terrell gives it to Gabe in a very unlikely way off the backboard. Gabe with a kind of quasi rebound and putback, but you'll take him any way you can get him.
Yeah, well, you can't front Gabe Leifer if you're going to pass the ball to Gabe Leifer off the backboard, although that's a little difficult to replicate. Good read from Leifer there.
Leifer and Terrell just look to be in some sort of sync tonight. I don't know what it is. Maybe they had a good bowl of chulent. I can't answer that question.
Well, apparently team rules are no chulent, although I can say from my Lycoming trip that rule wasn't perfectly followed.
We will not rat anybody out.
No, sir.
So apparently the max rule is no chulent during the regular season. A very fun rule for them. As that one was up and down. That was Ryan McNeely in for St. Joe's as Jordan Armstrong goes up. They're going to call a foul there on Tabata. That was a lot of contact. Tabata's got nothing to complain about there.
Oh, yeah, and I'm really happy to see Armstrong take it up strong on the right side of the basket. We've seen a few times this year. He's gone up on the left side of the basket. He just needs to take it up strong, and he did there, and that's why he's at the line.
And now to answer the trivia question, so what was the last time St. Joe's Long Island defeated the Max? The answer is February of 2017, 5 years ago. And the Max have really dominated this matchup since then.
Yeah, well, the score in that game also was 71-47. That was a little bit before this modern era of great Maccabees basketball.
So who was on that team in 2017? Was that Gabe Leifer year, or was that?
No, that was Donny Katz's freshman year, Simcha Alpert's freshman year.
Markovich in the game now for the Max, as it looks like they're kind of rolling out the bench.
Yeah, and just this seems to be another shot clock issue. Yeah, they've got it down from 20 to 16. The shot clock never ran after being reset. And Armstrong from the line over there, shot 1 for 2. He's shooting just 37% from the year.
So Jordan Armstrong, Adi Markovich, and Ethan Lasko, the difference from the starting 5, are in the game for the Max. Ryan McNeely, as I mentioned before, in for the Golden Eagles as Terrell's fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Good basketball. Leifer in the high post, backdoor cutter. If the Max can get that going all night, they'll hit 85 points at least.
So Thomas Bell and Matt Hurt check into the game for the Golden Eagles. Both teams unloading the bench a little bit here, as well as Tim Hurt. So the Hurt brothers, both in this game, both like playing with each other. We spoke to Coach a little bit about that that type of energy and dynamic that they bring when they're playing on the floor at the same time.
Yep.
Terrell hits that one. So Max up by 6. 9:38. We're just about halfway through this first half. And very fascinating for me, Malloy kind of bringing up the ball like that. Really just a different look to see a big man bring the ball in, as McNeely drains one from downtown. Adi Markovich maybe could have gotten him called for the foul and one, but he's not. But they bring it back to a 3-point game. Leifer finds Markovich for 3. No good, but taken back by Leifer. The rebound king as Terrell almost gets taken away, but he goes up with it, gets a little bit of space, and hits 2. He's feeling it tonight, especially from that spot on the court.
Yeah, and that was a solid possession from the Max. Instead of having Leifer in the high post, they put Terrell there. Armstrong with the good off-ball screen, setting up Markovich, who hasn't been great from 3 this year, and he missed that one. Offensive board, though.
As that one goes in for Matt Hurt for St. Joe's LI. And boy, Gabe Leifer's looked really good. A good defensive play there, even though they scored, as Jordan Armstrong goes up. No foul called, but he gets it to go. Jordan Armstrong looking like he's got a little something to prove.
Yeah, he's looked good in his minutes off the bench here. Max all the way up now to 8 for 14 from the floor and 4 for 6 from 3.
And this is exactly what the Max wanted from that Zucker-Armstrong predicament. Both guys performing well and trying to prove that they've got what it takes to get those minutes.
Yeah, it's good to see. And when we spoke to Coach Steinmetz, he said, I want to make guys uncomfortable. And that is what perhaps he has done. And there's a famous speech given by Coach Bob Knight, a mentor to Coach Steinmetz's mentor, speaking about how the bench sends a signal to the brain. And perhaps it has done that for Armstrong.
And so the Max looking kind of reinvigorated here early on. It's only a 5-point lead, but they've played really nice ball here through the first 12.
Yeah, they have. And if you look at the shooting percentages, St. Joe's Long Island is actually shooting better than the Max, but the difference is the 3-pointers. The Max, obviously, a strong 3-point shooting team. St. Joe's Long Island, not so much. They'll need to beat the Max with 2s.
Malloy one-on-one with Zucker. He goes up. They'll call Zucker on the foul. But a nice strong defensive play there by Zucker. They'll let Malloy go to the line, and he'll take 2. Malloy, the leading scorer for St. Joe's Long Island. He's averaging 15.4 points per game. And again, their offense runs through number 35.
It absolutely does. It'll all be about those touches in the low block for Spencer Malloy. And if the Max can stop him from getting those touches where he's comfortable, it'll be a long night for him and for St. Joe's.
He goes 0 for 2. Halpert with the rebound. And so I'm guessing that the Max will be a little bit frugal letting Malloy go to the line. As here comes McNeely back for St. Joe's Long Island. Defense chants coming from the stands. It's always nice to see the crowd here on a Saturday night. Max fans can come, experience the Seforim Sale, which we'll get to in a little bit. Watch a game, an all-around great experience, get some pizza.
Yeah, that was solid defense from Armstrong, but he did get him on the wrist. And to the line will go Timothy Hurt.
And so Hurt hits one. Speaking of pizza, on the Grandma's and Como Pizza side of the gym. If you want to really indulge in the Maxner Athletic Center geography.
Well, Grandma's is back on the calf card. That's good news.
And so I did hear that, and I heard Golan is back as well.
Golan is as well. All of those restaurants are back on the calf card. Good signs.
Just good signs for YU students. When I was a student, I think Golan was on the calf card my entire time. I know that it's sometimes on and off. As the Max trying to cause some trouble for Malloy, and they do. Not sure what was called there.
Yeah, he's in disbelief. A travel was called. Scholler checked into the game there also.
So here goes Terrell to Zucker. He's on the Laurel Terrace side. Popper's shaking his head at me. A little too much geography.
No, I'm shaking my head because the Max are forcing their passes. It's completely unnecessary. All they need to do is get the ball into the high post.
And so earlier on, the first 10, 12 minutes of this game, they really did look good and making smart pass decisions there, not that much. Terrell's going to be called for the foul. Boos streaming down from the stands here.
Yeah, they actually got that one on Zucker. That's his second. He's going to have to check out of the game. I would think, at least.
Malloy hits that one. Spencer Malloy from Comac, New York. A lot of these guys from out in Suffolk County.
It's interesting to see Coach Steinmetz rolling with Zucker with 2 fouls here. I mean, I know he's got Armstrong off the bench. He typically does take players out with 2 fouls in the first half, but he's rolling with him.
Just a reminder, coming up at halftime, Oren Glickman will be joining us here in the booth. Talk some Max Live.
Yeah, former Max Live president Oren Glickman.
As that one's turned over too. Not a good look. 2 guys were on lifer there, yet they tried forcing into him, just like you were saying before. So the Max, who looked really good in the first half of this half, not looking so great here with 6 minutes left in this first half. As that one sent from downtown, that's McNeely.
Yeah, that was pretty offense from St. Joe's. You had Malloy rolling and then kicking, and McNeely was open.
And so now St. Joe's looks like they've got the momentum going in their direction, and the Max getting in a little bit of trouble here. That one was an errant pass from Ryan Terrell. As we go to S.J. Tannenbaum.
Basketball for Max assistant coach Ellie Katz, but family is one of them. On Erev Shabbos, Coach Katz's wife welcomed a baby boy, a mini Mac. Mazel tov to assistant coach Ellie Katz and Uncle Donny Katz as well. Mazel tov from the entire Max Live team. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, SJ. The Katz family, obviously a big part of the Max history. Donny Katz and Ellie Katz and Coach Katz. We want to give a special birthday shout out to Zelig Ismach, huge fan of the Max. It's his 9th birthday today, so we're close in birthday proximity on the 16th. Just kind of if anybody wanted to know, this coming Wednesday, you can send gifts to me if you feel the need, or if you just want to.
Yeah, and Friday was Coach Steinmetz's anniversary.
And so a lot of milestones in this month of February. And just something, Max fans should know, there's 2 others this year. Don't be afraid to get, some big games coming up, especially with the playoff coming up, the Skyline playoff coming up, as that one was taken from McNeely. And I don't know how he got that one to go. A nice touch, and he's going to head to the line for a 4-point play.
Yeah, that was a clear foul. I don't know if Reef doesn't like it, but it was. And St. Joe's Long Island is on a run. 9-0 run for the Golden Eagles here.
And
looking to make it 10.
And that's exactly what Coach McSloy wants to see out of his Golden Eagles. Good, smart playing. McNeely, whether intentional or not, was able to draw Ofek Reef, who's been a little bit haphazard so far defensively.
Yeah, that 10-0 run, by the way, is coming in the last 3 minutes.
As Jordan Armstrong, not sure what he was trying to do there. He kept trying to tip it up. Not really quite sure what that was about. Tipped it right to the Golden Eagles. They try to get things going. Malloy giving it to McNeely. He's the hot hand. He goes in. He puts it up. That's good. A nice little roll there from McNeely. And now St. Joe's has a 7-point lead with 5 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, and they're shooting 70% from the floor.
Not sure if those are, such open looks or not, but still 70%. Very impressive as Leifer for 3. Just misses that one as Armstrong tried getting the rebound, although off of St. Joe's Long Island. It'll stay Max ball. 20 seconds are on the shot clock, so they'll have some time to play around with it a little bit. So 32-25, St. Joe's, they're on a 10-0 run.
A 12-0 run now.
Excuse me, 12-0 run.
And McNeely is feeling it. He's 4 for 5, 3 for 3 from 3.
As Ofek finds wide open Gabe Leifer, he can't go up with it. He's upset about a no foul call. But the Max, again, these are the issues they're running into. Even when they are, through their struggles, even when they are finding open passes and open looks, they're not capitalizing. Scholler goes in, he floats it up. That's no good. Taken by Armstrong. Armstrong really trying to play with authority tonight and really get those rebounds. It looks like it's kind of getting through to him that with his size, he's got to be getting rebounds. As Terrell ends the drought for the Max. He's got 2 more, and he's at 10 for the night. Defense chance streaming in. Hurt tries going up, that they're going to call the foul on Terrell. On Leifer. Feet were moving just a little bit too much. Timothy Hurt at the line for 2. And he's averaging 9.7 a game. Misses the first one there.
Yeah, well, look, it's been 5 minutes. The Max have 2 points. St. Joe's Long Island has 12 points. And ultimately, it's just come down to forcing passes on the offensive end. And St. Joe's Long Island is shooting over what they would shoot normally. It's not all to blame on the Max defense.
I would add to that I think that the Max sometimes get a little too comfortable with success, not trying to build off. As Ofek Reef gets fed by Gabe Leifer, and boy, he is just so good on backdoor cuts like that. If this offense wants to get going, they have to do a lot more of that, figure out ways to get Ofek Reef open down there.
It all starts with the Gabe Leifer high post touch.
And so the Max cutting back into the lead. They're only down by 3. Scholler for 3. That's good. An open look for Scholler. He hits it, capitalizes. And the Golden Eagles back up by 6. As Reef is found again. Boy, Ofek Reef. He has been lights out tonight.
Yeah, he's shooting 3 for 4 now, and the crowd is starting to get into it a little bit. That's a hard hedge.
Orem Batesh in the game for the Max. As Malloy tries going up with it. That's no good. Taken down by the rebound king, Leifer. At least the Skyline rebound king.
A little crowded there at the high post.
Here goes Batesh for 3. No good. He's really a great shooter, but wasn't able to knock it down there. And Batesh is all part of that kind of different look mentality that Coach Steinmetz is trying to go with. as it's taken back by Leifer. Here goes Leifer on Scholler. He goes up with it. That's good. Gabe Leifer, you can give him 2 more. 35-33 St. Joe's.
Yeah, and what's good to see there, the Max had numbers going the other way. Even if he would have missed that shot, the Max would have gotten the offensive rebound.
And so crowd getting into a little bit here. And a nice defensive play by Ofek Reef. Batesh giving a lot of energy on that play, forcing St. Joe's to move the ball a little faster than they're probably comfortable with. And he'll stay in the game with switches made. It's Lasko, Leifer, Batesh, Halpert, and Terrell. I really have noticed that the guys coming off the bench have really been playing a nice brand of energetic defense. As that one swatted and taken by the Max will be their ball. They're going to call a push.
Yeah, that's just a 5th foul on the Golden Eagles, so the Max will just get an inbound here.
So with 1:45 left, timeout taken by St. Joe's, and we will head to break when we return. It's the Max and St. Joe's Long Island from the Max Stern Athletic Center.
Hey Max fans, this is Joseph Gittler, YU class of 1996, founder and chairman of Leket Israel. The skies are reopening, so come and volunteer with us in Israel as soon as you make it here. Please also consider supporting us as you think about your charity. And of course, go Max!
Looking to move to a new Jewish community? With so many places to choose from, where do you start? The OU Community Fair has you covered. Take a virtual road trip to over 60 communities in 22 states spanning the U.S. and Israel. Gather all the information you need in just a few short hours. Join us on February 13th and register at ou.org/fair.
Welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center. It's St. Joe's Long Island 35, Yeshiva 33 with 1:45 left here in the first half. But coming up, we're going to have an awesome halftime show for you as we'll be joined in the booth by former Max Live president Oren Glickman to break down the first half. You do not want to miss that.
And I hear also we're going to have Leket Israel halftime stats.
I mean, what more can you ask for? Maccabees bringing up the ball. They're down by 2. Want to head into the half with some positive plays to build off of. Terrell for 3. Oh, just missed. Looked good, but they're going to call that off of Batesh.
The Max have yet to make a 3-pointer tonight, Dave. 0 for 7 from outside.
Would not be surprised if after halftime they try getting Halpert the ball a little bit more in 3-point land, setting some stuff up for him. Hurt throws a cross court to Scholler. Had a little bit open shot, didn't take it. They're going to call the charge there on Malloy. So it's Max ball.
Yeah, good job sacrificing the body there.
And Batesh still in this game, and I have to say, looked good there on the defensive possession when Ofek knocked it out, really giving a nice energy that Coach Steinmetz said he's looking for off the bench.
Well, part of the reason why Batesh hadn't gotten minutes in recent times is because he's had some defensive struggles. It's great to see him looking good out there.
Lasko passed up a 3 there. Maybe wasn't set for it, but he for sure had some room.
2 for 1 opportunity for the Max.
Terrell goes up with it. That's no good. Getting a little bit too lackadaisical there from that spot on the court. Just putting up, made out. That was probably a bad shot selection. Scholler for 3. That's no good. Taken down by Batesh.
The Max could hold for 1 here if they wanted.
Here goes Lasko driving out to Halpert. He passes up the 3, though, to Terrell. 7 seconds left. Doesn't seem like they noticed that. Here goes Lasko for 3. No good off the side of the hoop. And we will head to halftime. It's 35 St. Joe's, 33 Maccabees. When we return, Oren Glickman joins us, as well as Leket Israel halftime stats from the Max Stern Athletic Center.
Baruchim Habayim. Welcome to Yeshiva University, where our core Torah values shape everything we do and guide us toward a better tomorrow. In the classroom and the lab, in the Beit Midrash, on the court, on Shabbat, and all around the city, New York City. Grow at your own pace with smaller class sizes, research opportunities on and off campus, over 150 clubs, 15 D3 NCAA teams, and top-tier internships at companies like Bloomberg, Google, and Facebook. Our Bayit is your Bayit. When it's time to play, and when it's time to pray. When you have a craving, when you need a break, when you celebrate, and when you shine. Come on in and meet your chavruta, your teammates, your professors, this guy. Connect with people from down the street and from down under. With over 80% of students receiving financial aid, Yeshiva University distributes more than $45 million annually to ensure that a YU education is affordable for all. Make YU your home base and you've got all the bases covered. From first base to playing base, from this kind of base to the base medrash.
Come on, that's a stretch.
You can get where you're going faster with our Pathways programs, dual degrees, and partnerships. And when you're ready for the workforce, we've got you covered with a network of over 70,000 alumni. An astounding 94% of students are employed in grad school or both within 6 months of graduation. We are student-driven, outcome-driven, value-driven, deeply rooted and forward-focused. Oh, and we also have all this. What are you waiting for? Experience YU and step into your future.
Did you know that 90% of low back pain and sciatica can be treated without surgery? After a detailed evaluation, our physical therapists use gentle, hands-on techniques to alleviate most forms of low back pain. Our physicians have expertise in medication management, as well as a variety of interventional techniques, including trigger point injections. By utilizing a combination of these options, we can help you today. PM&R, the proud sponsor of Yeshiva University Athletics. Let us help you reach your goals at one of our 5 locations in New York and New Jersey.
Looking to move to a new Jewish community? With so many places to choose from, where do you start? The OU Community Fair has you covered. Take a virtual road trip to over 60 communities in 22 states spanning the U.S. and Israel. Gather all the information you need in just a few short hours. Join us on February 13th and register at ou.org/fair.
Hey Max fans, this is Joseph Gittler, YU class of 1996, founder and chairman of Leket Israel. The skies are reopening, so come and volunteer with us in Israel as soon as you make it here. Please also consider supporting us as you think about your charity. And of course, go Max!
At the PMR Center, we strive to find the right physical therapy and hand therapy program for you. PM&R, the proud sponsor of Yeshiva University Athletics. Let us help you reach your goals at one of our 5 locations in New York and New Jersey.
On St. Joe's, Long Island, the Golden Eagles with the 2-point lead at halftime. Halftime stats are brought to you by Leket Israel. Leket Israel, rescuing nutritious surplus food for Israelis in need. So it's David Schwartzman here with Akiva Poppers, and we're joined by a very special guest, former president of Max Live, Oren Glickman. Oren, welcome back to the booth. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me, guys. It's great to be back in the booth. I feel the nostalgia. Before I came, I think I told you guys that my last YU broadcast was Gabe Leifer's first NCAA game. So time flies when you're having fun.
So, let's start off this game so far. Max are down by 2. What have you seen? What do you want to see them improve on for the second half?
Honestly, it's been a pretty lackadaisical half from the Max, forcing unnecessary turnovers. They're letting St. Joe's shoot the ball at a very high percentage. I think the way to go is continue with Ryan Terrell in the mid-range game. It's really breaking down that St. Joe's zone. They continue to do that, they should come out on top.
Yeah, I have an interesting, if we're talking about stats, the Max are shooting 0 for 8 from 3, and St. Joe's is shooting 7 for 10 from 3. We haven't mentioned it yet. The Max are the number 1 3-point shooting team in the country, 41% coming into this game. St. Joe's is 33% from 3 coming into this game. That is a weird stat line right there, and it's why St. Joe's is up by 2.
You'd think that maybe that would balance itself out kind of as this game progresses, that by law of, I'm not sure which law I'm referencing
regression.
Law of regression, as our math guy here, Akiva Poppers, law of regression, that should probably even itself out. So, Oren, you're wearing the Max Live blazer. I don't think we have it on camera, but he brought back the Max Live blazer with him. So,
it's been a while. I had to dust it off and everything.
I mean, it's spectacular. What kind of situations did you wear that in?
I wore it during some big games. I remember YU's first home playoff game in years where they took on the Purchase Panthers. I believe I was on the call with Shlomo Weisberg, former YU MAC legend. The house was packed. And after that, they lost to Old Westbury in the next round. But, I called a lot of great games back in the day. But, nothing like an Illinois Wesleyan or anything like that, or St. Joseph, Connecticut coming up on Thursday. Just to see the evolution of the team over the years. We had a great team when I was in charge and running the operation, but nothing at this magnitude.
Now, I got a question for you, Oren. You've been around here a long time. You know the Max for a while. What was the last time in 3 straight games in a row the Max trailed at halftime?
Definitely, during maybe my first few years, not as president, but as an announcer, when the Max weren't a big contender in Skyline, they definitely had their struggles. They weren't one of the weaker teams, but they weren't one of the stronger teams. But I got to say, Farmingdale, Old Westbury, and now tonight with St. Joe's of Long Island, we are seeing a pattern here. And I'm not trying to bash the Max, but these Skyline teams, my theory is they're getting stronger as the season goes on. And I think they figured out the Max to some extent. And we'll see how the second half plays out, of course.
Yeah, and kind of what we alluded to a little bit earlier on the broadcast. I want to get your thoughts on this. Gabe Leifer kind of the opposite of what we were saying, right? The Max a little bit regressing, maybe a little bit in our minds a little bit, but Gabe Leifer has been really turning it on. You mentioned before you called his first ever NCAA game. What's the evolution of Gabe Leifer look like in your eyes?
Well, Gabe Leifer, I think he was more of a scorer in the beginning of his collegiate career. And I'm not saying he's not a scorer these days. I mean, I think he had his best shooting performance the other night against Old Westbury. But I think he's someone who really puts the team ahead of himself. And he's really involving a lot of the Max players to get more involved in the offense. I think in the beginning of Gabe's collegiate career, he was more focused on padding his own stats, and that's not really the case now.
100% agreed. And, moving over to, we always like to get thoughts on the other guy that is usually spoken about a little bit more, Ryan Terrell. You're on a famous Ryan Terrell Sarachek call, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound about right?
Possibly. I remember calling some Ryan Terrell Sarachek games, but never a game where Ryan was on the winning end.
Interesting to hear that. So what's that evolution look like? You for sure were present in the beginning of his outburst onto the basketball scene. What's that kind of look like since then?
Well, when I called Ryan Terrell Sarachek games, I was expecting him to commit to Army. Little did I know who's going to end up at YU, and I'm glad he did end up at YU. He is quite a star, and I think he still has a lot to offer. Time will tell on how far the Max are going to go, because Ryan does have that extra year of eligibility. We'll see if we'll take it. Only time will tell, of course.
And so as we wind down this season a little bit, as we're heading towards Skyline Conference playoff, what are your quick thoughts on that as we head towards that playoff?
Well, we got to see how the rest of the Skyline season turns out. Obviously, it's Skyline Championship or bust. They're not going to be dancing if they don't win the Skyline tournament. And St. Joseph, Connecticut, hopefully St. Joseph, Connecticut win that game on Tuesday night. They will be undefeated going into the Max Stern Athletic Center on Thursday night. YU's undefeated season was ended by Illinois Wesleyan. How about YU ending St. Joseph, Connecticut's undefeated season?
I love that little thought. Oren, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
and coming
you so
back
much.
Into the booth.
And I do have a broadcasting rule that I don't like to break, but I'm going to break it tonight. Shout out to my boys Aaron Miller, Jesse Arm, and Ellie Diamond. And shout out to my Hillel Heat, riding a 4-game winning streak, and they'll look to make it 5 in a row this Wednesday night when they play at MTA.
When we return, second half of Maccabees basketball on MaxLive.com. Welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center, where as we head into the second half, St. Joe's up by 235-33 on the Maccabees. The YU Seforim Sale is here. Come to Washington Heights and buy all your favorite Seforim at the largest Seforim sale in North America. Check out the website, theseforimsale.com. It's linked in the description below, and check out all the events and speakers featured throughout the sale. Online ordering and gift card options are available as well on the website. Look forward to seeing you there. Akiva, as we head into the second half, what are your thoughts?
Well, it was great to have Oren in the booth. He brought up an interesting point. He said the other teams in the Skyline are getting better as the year goes on, and maybe the Max are not. Maybe they're regressing. I mean, we spoke to Coach Steinmetz about this exact issue. He said, I don't think we've regressed. We're tied for the second most wins in school history in general. We're back to earth, but I don't think we've regressed. I hate to break it. I think the Max have regressed a little bit.
Just to add on to that a little bit, I don't think necessarily talent-wise they've regressed. As St. Joe's gets on the board there, here they extend their lead to 4. I think it's maybe a little more of a mental issue for them, where they went into Illinois Wesleyan kind of really not knowing what to expect. They got, obviously it was a fun game to be at and really a historic meeting. Although they got, the roof was blown off of that place by Illinois Wesleyan, and I think that the confidence level after that game, and the energy I've brought up energy a lot tonight, but the energy and the confidence has been a little bit lackluster. Ferrafino not called out there, actually, they're going to call Ofek Reef, knock the ball out.
Yeah, and it's going to be so important for the Max captains as leaders to get this team back in the mental state they need to be in. It's very easy when you're on a 50-game winning streak to be a captain. You don't really need to motivate whatsoever. Now, when you lose games, you need to show up as a captain. Who will be that guy? Will it be Ryan, Gabe, Eitan, all of them, who can get the team back in their mental state, or are the Max just going to go tailspin to the rest of the year?
And I found what to be interesting when we were speaking to Coach Steinmetz was that at halftime against Old Westbury, as Ryan Terrell hits a three-pointer, give him 3 more, cut to a 1-point lead for St. Joe's. But I found it interesting that the most vocal person, according to Coach Steinmetz, in the locker room at halftime against Old Westbury wasn't Gabe Leifer, wasn't Ryan Terrell, it was actually Eitan Halpert.
Yeah, I've been in some of the Max halftime locker rooms, and actually that does not surprise me so much. Eitan Halpert is usually quite vocal in those conversations.
And so the Max trying to turn things around here.
Yeah, but that was a good backdoor cut from Hurd and a good feed to him. And Zucker was forced to foul. That's his third.
And just something kind of I found interesting when we spoke to Coach McSloy. They try to, St. Joe's tries emulating a little bit what the Max are doing, particularly unselfishness. But I wonder if kind of those backdoor cuts that we're seeing there, we've seen it from Hurt a few times here tonight. I'm wondering if they look at what Ofek Reef's doing there and they're saying, hey, why don't we try to use that with our guys?
Yeah, Coach McSloy was coaching as an assistant at Conn College, and Elliot Steinmetz's first year as the Max coach. They played a triple overtime game. He said, wow, this team is unselfish. I want my guys to be like that too when I'm a head coach.
Speaking of Ofek Reef doing what he does best, going to the rim, he is just so good in the paint. Puts in 2 more for himself. It's a 1-point lead for St. Joe's.
Yeah, Ofek Reef among eligible shooters coming into tonight, 15th in the country, that means D3, in field goal percentage, shooting 4 for 6 tonight.
He's been averaging 14.2 points per game. That 3 is no good. A great box out by Life, and they're going to call a foul there on Malloy.
Yeah, the Max are not well known for their box out. Gabe Leifer right there, beautiful box out on Malloy.
Quite famously, the Twitter feud, I wouldn't call it feud, but Ari Lamb and the chief rabbi, Bob Quillman.
Yeah, the box out theory.
The box out theory.
Terrell has to fill the high post here. There he goes.
Max looking to get something started. Try to get back that rhythm as here goes Reef. Backdoor as he famously does. He goes up and he's money. He is on tonight. That's Ofek Reef. Give him 2 more.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the country when it comes to driving to the rim. Reef is feeling it, and the Max have a lead.
And the Max really got to keep feeding it to him. Zucker's going to be called. He doesn't like that one on Malloy.
That's his 4th. Armstrong's going to have to check into the game here.
So if you're Coach Steinmetz, what are you telling a guy like Zucker when it comes to Malloy, how to kind of take care of him?
It's very tricky, It's the key is keeping the ball out of Malloy's hands in the first place. Once Malloy gets it there, all you really can do is prevent him from getting closer to the rim, just bodying him up and playing straight up.
NCSY Summer is the premier summer trip provider for Jewish teens across the world with over 20-plus programs spanning the U.S., Israel, and Europe. NCSY Summer has a program for you. Visit summer.ncsy.org to learn more and choose your summer experience today.
Yeah, and Malloy is shooting, coming into this game, 47.5% from the free throw line. He's now made 3 in a row after missing his first 2. Make that 4.
Make that 4.
And Malloy getting a rest here. Ferrafino, who's played just 2 minutes tonight, coming in for him.
And so St. Joe's 1-point lead. Very important game for both teams as the Skyline Conference is winding down. Here goes Halpert for 3. That's no good. He gets his own rebound, gives it to Reef. Reef back out Terrell for 3. That's no good. Jordan Armstrong couldn't get it, couldn't corral, and Scholler does.
Yeah, and Ryan Terrell, if he wanted it, and again, I never want to take anything away from him. He's one of the best players in the country, but he has an open Gabe Leifer there if he wants it too.
St. Joe's on the other end extends their lead to 3, 43-40. And so now the Macs come, try to respond. Tipped by Gaudiello. And they're going to call
a jump ball going in the Macs direction.
Jump ball there. That was Tabata and Leifer trying to recover what was a loose ball.
And we saw Terrell, who did not have possession of the ball. He was just close to the ref trying to call timeout, but the ref closer to the ball, calling the jump ball first.
And so the Macs trying to get the W here on the Saturday night, not lose 2 straight weeks on Saturday night. And next week, they're going at it again. It's senior night, so we'll probably see some fanfare for some of these Macs as they're playing some of their last games, or what they hope to not be their last games in the Macs uniform. Ryan goes up. That's no good. He's gotten a little cold since he was hotter earlier on.
Yeah, by the way, you speaking about senior night, the next 3 home games, including this one at the Max Athletic Center, St. Joseph's, Long Island, St. Joseph of Connecticut, and St. Joseph's of Brooklyn.
So a lot of St. Joseph's.
Or St. Joseph. You got to take the S out.
Did you know that 91% of our viewers for the game last weekend's Farmingdale State were not subscribed to Max Live on YouTube? Help support our efforts to put on quality broadcasts and take 3 seconds. That's right, just 3 seconds it takes to subscribe.
That's all it takes.
Tabata's at the line. He's got 7 points on the night. Hits his second.
Yeah, right on pace for his season average of 14.
So plenty of time left in this contest. Fans trying to get the Macs back into this game. As Halpert, you can give him 3 more. He is just money from downtown.
Yeah, that's just the Mac's second 3 made of the game, 2 for 12.
And as I mentioned before, he leads Division III in three-point percentage, 48.8 going into the night. Scholler barking out orders. Here goes Malloy trying to create an Armstrong, not liking that one.
Yeah, that's Ferrafino who's taking the spot of Malloy. Well, at least it's not a foul. Just 6 on the shot clock.
Gaudiello trying to create. Here goes Hurt from downtown. That's no good. Here goes Ryan Trowell in transition. Slows things down as Eitan Halpert. He gets it for 3 once again. That's good!
And it all starts with a pass to Gabe Leifer in the high post.
Don't tell Akiva Poppers that it's unimportant to get Leifer open in the high post, because he will chew your ear off for hours on end, but it pays there for the Macs. We spoke about before getting Eitan Halpert open. The Macs don't set plays, but as Hurt responds there, that was Matt Hurt quickly responding to the 3 from Eitan Halpert.
You know, last time these two teams played, the reason why the Macs were able to go on a big run was because St. Joe's was taking quick shots. I cannot believe that's not a foul.
There. Looked like a lot of contact from Ferrafino. Armstrong upset about that one. Tabata up with it. That's no good. As that one rolls out, Scholler making the effort to get it before hits back court. Here goes Scholler. Dishes it. There's Hurt for 3. No good. Taken down by the Macs. Pace picking up here. Here goes Halpert for 3 again. That's good. Give Eitan Halpert 3 more. He's on fire. Eitan Halpert for downtown.
Halpert is 3 for 5 from the floor, 3 for 5 from 3.
As timeout called by St. Joe's, and now the crowd gets into it. as the Max looking good, moving the ball around well and finding open looks, just what they're supposed to be doing. And we head to S.J. Tannenbaum, court side.
Part of the St. Joseph's team, and he learned the sport from someone who has a long-standing influence on this team in more ways than one. Gordon's father coached St. Joseph's, Coach McSloy, back when he played high school ball over a decade ago. Check out this great picture. Coach McSloy is number 33, Coach Scholler is on the far left, and Gordon is the kid on the bottom. It's that background which has helped Gordon become a leader and a hard worker who helps his team in any way he can. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, SJ, for everything you do, and you're looking quite suave in the black on black suit tonight. Great suit selection. Check him out, Sideline Suits on Instagram. Always good to give a good friend SJ a little bit of a plug.
I think it will be interesting, as I was trying to make the point before that missed call by the ref. It'll be interesting to see what St. Joe's does here. Can they play slow basketball or not? I think that's the reason why Coach McSloy called that timeout. He wants to stop the Yeshiva run and tell his guys to settle down.
Both those last two scoring possessions for the Max, they moved fast in transition. I think that was a big part. And just like you were saying, look for St. Joe's to slow things down here, not force anything. Tabata goes up with it. That's taken down by Armstrong. Exactly what they want from him. Here goes Reef. He's going to take it out to Halpert. They'll call a charge call on Reef, who was looking for Eitan Halpert. The hot hand. It was a bad pass anyways.
Yeah, but that was great defense getting set in transition there.
So 49-47 Max. They have not had the lead all too often lately, but they're going to look to build off of what they've had going these last few minutes, especially downtown from Eitan Halpert. We saw it back there on that last play. They're really going to try looking for him, it seems like, as Reef tries committing a little bit too much on Tabata, but Armstrong picks up, although Tabata gets the shot to go.
And that's the second time this game that Reef has gone for a steal, and both times it has resulted in a bucket for St. Joe's.
And I understand the wanting to be very aggressive, but you don't want to do it to a fault like that. Halpert, the hot hand for three. That's good, but they're going to say it's good. Eitan Halpert from downtown. The refs are going to talk about it, and they're going to call a foul, so it'll be and one. Eitan Halpert.
Yeah, that was perfect Maccabees basketball. First it went to Terrell, then it went to one side, then they ball reversed, and it went to Halpert. I think what one ref was calling was a foul off ball at the same time as Armstrong. That was by Armstrong at the same time as the three-point shot went down. And so the foul is not a shooting foul.
So not an and one. As a technical foul called. Not sure which assistant that's on, but one of the assistants.
I don't believe it was a tech. That looked more like a warning to me.
Sorry about that. A warning. A lot of clapping from the fans just for a warning as Halpert for three. That's no good. This place was going to erupt if he knocked that one down.
Yeah, he was feeling it, but that's very early in the shot clock.
Eitan Halpert clearly feeling it here as Terrell overcommitted a little bit on Tabata. Didn't have to pay for it, though, because Tabata couldn't corral. Defense chance from the Max Stern Athletic faithful. As Leifer comes down with it, and here goes the Max. They're really moving.
Yeah, but that is such a quick drive to the rim. The Max weren't even to get their help in time on the baseline drive.
Here goes Leifer, and he was looking for a cutting Armstrong.
Yeah, that's going to be, I believe, the third foul on Tabata.
Here comes Lasko in for Ofek Reef. Again, Lasko getting only 7 minutes last game. He's been also on limited minutes tonight.
Yeah, just 7 again.
Inbound, terrible inbound play from Halpert. I don't even know what he was looking for there.
I'm not sure. It's an easy way to front the guy if you throw the pass 3 feet short.
Defense chance coming, and here goes Halpert. He picks his pocket. Halpert coming in over to Terrell for three. No good.
There you have an example of Terrell who wanted to shoot a 3, and the ball got passed to him in the perfect situation for him to pick it up and drive. And he was focused on shooting that 3.
Markovich checks in for Halpert. The hot hand out of the game.
And we're seeing Coach Steinmetz rolling with Armstrong because Zucker still has those 4 fouls.
Armstrong's been good tonight relative to the last couple of games. Here he is with Malloy on him. Going up, they're going to call the foul on Armstrong. The right call there.
Yeah, but Malloy's the one initiating the contact, and that's why Coach Steinmetz is not happy. That looked straight up to me, and that looked like no foul on either side.
So Malloy will head to the line. He'll try to make it a 1-point game. Want to receive Max news and updates? Join our WhatsApp group chat. The link to join is in the description of this YouTube video.
Yeah, and Malloy, having made 4 free throws in a row, misses one. Now 4 for 7 from the line tonight. He's been getting there, which is obviously what the Golden Eagles want.
As that one's missed again, Armstrong coming down with the rebound. He's been boxing out tonight at the very least. Sets a pick there for Terrell. So he's trying to get his name mentioned here on this broadcast. Leifer driving. He's being doubled. He gives it to Terrell. Terrell goes up. No good. Someone's going to be called a little bit too much extracurriculars there.
And Coach Steinmetz is begging for this to be called a shooting foul as opposed to on the floor, and it looks like they're going to give it to him. And by the way, on that drive there to the basket, the hero of the play was the 4 other Maccabees players getting out of the way, opening up the room for that Terrell cut to the basket, and they're not going to give Coach Steinmetz what he wants. Or now they will.
And also on that play, Leifer was being doubled, so a lot of wherewithal for everybody else to make sure they're clearing the way, because there were already 2 guys down low for Terrell to have to deal with on top of the guy who was taking him.
That's right. That's good basketball from the Max.
Terrell hits his first. We mentioned that happy birthday to Zella Gismach before, but if you want to get a shout out from thousands of people, or if you have an upcoming birthday you want to celebrate with the entire community, let us know by emailing us at yumaxlive@gmail.com. We will announce all shout outs and birthdays during next Thursday night's broadcast of the Yeshiva University Maccabees against number 6, St. Joseph, Connecticut, right here on Max Live.
Yeah, Terrell's 4 for 4 from the line, so it's good that he's getting production there despite being 6 for 13 from the floor.
A great play there, and a great find of a cutting Malloy. St. Joe's trying to stay close, not let the Max get too far away from them. So it's still a 3-point game. Plenty of time left. Terrell goes up. That's no good. He was falling. If you ask me, not the best shot selection from Terrell. A lot of guys on him, and falling down, you always have to question if falling down was the right choice.
Yeah, I would concur. Lasko was cutting to the basket and then had to draw away from the basket, and because he was still close to the basket, his man was still there. That's why Terrell was in a triple team there, and obviously not the best shot. Max going small here.
So Reef checks in Terrell and Armstrong out. As Terrell gets called.
Yeah, St. Joseph's going to feed Malloy.
So now it's Malloy, and Leifer is going to be tasked with containing him. He goes up, no good, taken down by Halpert, and they're going to call the foul on Malloy. That's a clear foul. You have nothing to be complaining about there.
Absolutely, and guess what? That's Malloy's 4th. It's a big one, especially not a blocking foul, not a shooting stopper.
Yep.
Just loose
and
ball.
He's upset as he punches
mad.
the chair. That's a clear foul. I'm not sure if he's upset about the foul call or the fact that he's got 4. Ferrafino now checks in for him.
I think he's more upset at himself.
And we're seeing a little bit of that press that St. Joe's likes to run, the 2-2-1.
Yeah, they play a little 2-2-1 press sometimes, but then they settle back into that 2-3.
Markovich had a little bit of time, and that's batted down, but fortuitously down to Reef.
Yeah, that was good active hands from McNeely.
Leifer goes up, and he will head to the line for 2.
Ooh. Body hitting the floor for Ferrafino. Big boy at 6'7".
For behind-the-scenes pictures and content you won't find anywhere else, be sure to follow Max Live on Instagram.
Well, look, the Macs feel a little more in control here than they were in the first half, but they're still only up by 3. And they only have 54 points with under 10 minutes to go.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see McNeely back in this game soon. He was the hot hand from 3-point earlier in the game.
Yeah, he's still shooting 3 for 3. He hadn't taken one in the second half.
Leifer misses the second. He's upset with himself.
Yeah, well, Gabe Leifer has been a dominant force in some senses this year, but he's shooting just 51% from the line.
A lot of screens, on-ball screens for St. Joe's. Tabata goes up. That's beautiful off the glass.
Oh, yeah.
Give him 2 more. So Max up by 2. Close game here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. And they'll call the foul on Lasko. He does not like it.
There's a clear foul on him. I don't know what to tell him. I'm very interested to see what Coach McSloy does in terms of putting Malloy back into this game. He's rolling right now with Ferrafino because Malloy's got 4 fouls with 9 minutes to go. When do you think he's going to check him back in?
I think it's going to be very situational. If they fall too far, if they fall 6-8 points behind, I think we're going to see Malloy back in this game. Otherwise, if they're going to keep it close, they'll hold off. But McNeely now, he's seen the game coming in for St. Joe's, so they're going to try to feed him the ball. The Macs are really going to have to try to play him tough. As Tabata goes up, no foul call. As Lasko, with a lot of guys on him, breaks out. So 8:45 left in this contest. It's the Macs only leading by 2. Lasko driving, finds an open Ofek. Leifer for 3. That's just a little bit too short. Ofek actually almost came down with that one, but Ferrafino corrals, and Scholar's going to bring up for St. Joe's.
And even though the Macs have been getting better from 3 out late, they're still shooting only 5 for 17 for the game.
Defense chance, crowd trying to keep the Macs energized.
And with Tabata on the ground, the Macs have numbers.
But they will slow things down. Both teams will be able to set things up. Halpert for 3. Oh, he just missed that one. He had a guy in his face. He's feeling it. He is going to take it if it gets into his hands.
Yeah, but he takes it there with about 18 seconds on the shot clock. And the Macs didn't have a chance to really run much offense on that possession.
Tabata, he's had the ball a lot here for St. Joe's. Couldn't get that one to go. I think that's 3 straight possessions where he just couldn't knock it down from down low in the paint. Lasko for 3. That's no good.
We see Ryan Terrell standing up next to Coach Steinmetz, looking to check into the game at the next stoppage.
And the Macs are really playing with house money here. St. Joe's having a lot of bad possessions in a row. And they're going to call the foul on Leifer, who tried poking out of Ferrafino's hands, but too much contact from number 4.
Yeah, and St. Joe's has had some not great possessions of late, but give them credit, they only have 8 turnovers.
Not subscribed to Max Live on YouTube? If you want to see all the great Max content we put out, you need to be. Be sure to also turn on notifications so that you never miss out on a new video. We'll have this game will be up afterwards if you know someone who's unable to watch live. So the lead's cut down to 1 for the Macs.
And Ferrafino, unlike his counterpart big man Malloy, is actually quite a solid free throw shooter for a guy of his size at 67% on the year. 1 of 2.
So he's 1 of 2. So Max with a skinny 1-point lead. Markovic is in the game. So is Terrell. Markovic, he lines up for 3. That's no good. They're taking very quick 3-point shots.
Very early on in the shot clock, and I love Markovich, but he's not out there to shoot.
And based on Coach McSloy's body language, I could see they're trying to get guys open for three that might not be so great from downtown, trying to speed up their motion for the Max. That's a three-pointer for Hurt, and he hits it. So St. Joe's back on top with 6:30 left to play.
It's going to be very crucial here the Max take their time and run their offense.
Here goes Reef. He was money before, and he'll get called for the foul. That's going to be Matt Hurt. Doesn't like the call. No one ever does.
See, there's a difference. There's a difference between taking a three-point shot with 20 seconds on the shot clock and driving to the rim into contact with 20 seconds on the shot clock. And the difference is there's no transition opportunity for the other team. And it's why I'm fine with that for Reef. And 1 of 1 so far.
Reef. He's been good.
You know, early on in the year, he had, 100% free throw percentage, and then it dropped down to like 95 and 90. And now he's down to 80, which is probably what he is as a player.
And hits that second one, too. So the Max tie it back up. Timeout called as we...
What are we going to do, Dave?
I don't know. You tell me.
Let's send it to commercial break. We'll see you soon.
Hey, Max fans. This is Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel, YC class of 96. It's citrus season in Israel. We need to rescue millions of pounds of these citrus fruit to feed the needy just over the next few months. So please give us a hand. Help the winning team, Leket Israel, and the other winning team. Go Max!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center. It's a tight one here as Yeshiva University and St. Joe's College Long Island are knotted up at 57 apiece. What's been going wrong tonight for the Max?
Well, we've seen what they're capable of at times, and then we've seen what they're capable of doing poorly at times. And against the zone, you want to have more than 14 assists, and that's what the Max have. They're averaging 21 on the year. And to only have 14 with 6 minutes remaining against the zone is kind of, it speaks to how they've been performing on the offensive ends on some possessions.
Everybody trying to be a little too aggressive there with the rebound. Matan Zucker knocking it out of play.
Yep, so we see Coach Steinmetz going back to Zucker.
Interesting to note that in the crucial moments, we're going to see Zucker.
And Coach McSloy not going with Malloy.
Taken back by Terrell on the inbound. The Max have been looking very good in heads-up situations there from Terrell. A nice takeaway. Good movement so far. They tried finding Reef. He goes up, and he hits it.
Beautiful basketball there for the Max. Letting the play develop, and then Ofik Reef curling all the way around for the baseline cut.
So he's at 14 for the night. Max back up by 2. Hurt breaking away on Leifer, and he knocks it off the glass.
Pretty shot for Matt.
And so we're not back to knotted up at 59. 5 minutes left. Terrell, he's money. He's been quiet tonight, but he's at 19 for the night.
We've seen him take that shot a few times, the elbow jumper.
They're going to call the charge there, Matan Zucker.
And that is incredibly bold from Zucker with the 4 fouls. He had to make sure those feet were set, and they were set as stone.
As Coach Steinmetz sitting down, not sure what his reaction would have been had Matan been called for the foul.
Don't want to see that. Fortunately, he wasn't.
and the Max really are looking to extend things here. It's really getting dicey. 2-point game for the up-and-coming St. Joe's College of Long Island Golden Eagles. They're playing a great brand of basketball, and they're trying to take down the Max. Here goes Terrell again, and he's catching fire. Give him 2 more. He's at 21 for the night.
With Malloy in his face, he's feeling it all right.
And so Ryan Terrell showing why he's clutch. McNeely trying to go in, and they'll call Halpert for the foul.
Clear foul there on Halpert, taking away space, moving. That's just his first.
His first, 9th team for the Max. So McNeely's going to try to cut into this 4-point lead. Hits his first of the 1-and-1.
And St. Joe's is going to call a timeout, a full timeout. We will see you in 1 minute.
At the PMR Center, we strive to find the right physical therapy and hand therapy program for you. PM&R, the proud sponsor of Yeshiva University Athletics. Let us help you reach your goals at one of our 5 locations in New York and New Jersey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center. The YU Maccabees leading St. Joe's College Long Island Golden Eagles 63-61. And obviously this game has got big ramifications for the Skyline Conference.
Major ramifications. Farmingdale State defeated College of Mount St. Vincent by 6 points today. That means that if the Max fall, they will be tied with Farmingdale State, and they will fall to the 3 seed on tiebreakers.
And so they'll take the ball, try to extend this 2-point lead for themselves as much of a cushion as you consider 4 points. Halpert thought about 3 there. He's been hot, a little bit colder as of late, though. Here goes Terrell, though, for 3. No good. And so here come the Golden Eagles with 4 minutes left. They look to respond, capitalize on this possession. Spencer Malloy back in the game. Here goes McNeely up with it. That's beautiful. Great take from McNeely. We're back knotted at 63.
And Ofek Grief and Gabriel Leifer there covered down to help. One of them, I don't know which, was off on their assignment, which means that there was someone who was open for 3 there. He would have passed, but he'll take the bucket at any point. This game is back to tied.
So Terrell, he's being doubled, but there's a wide open Gabriel Leifer. Now to Reef. Halpert thought about it. Now he'll take it for 3. Too short. Taken out by Scholler.
That was very flat out of his hand. Did not get the arc that he usually wants.
Defense chance raining down as they have been all night. McNeely is in this game as well as Malloy for the Golden Eagles, as they have the 2 of their best shooters tonight. McNeely with a wild shot goes up. Malloy comes down with it, and he gets it to go, and the Golden Eagles are back up by 2.
It's a big boy rebound from Malloy. I don't know what that shot was from 3.
So as time's dwindling down on the clock, here goes Halpert for 3. No good. Taken down by Zucker. He goes up. He's fouled, and he'll head to the line.
How many times, though, on these recent possessions have we seen the Max take an early 3 on the shot clock? I mean, those 3s against the zone are there all shot clock, and I know the Max are trailing, so they have some incentive to shoot earlier on. There's really no need to take those shots.
I think that although that's the case, maybe when Halpert who's been great from
Halpert's
three-point
feeling
tonight.
it. Halpert's feeling it all right.
If he feels like he's got a little extra space, you have to think that he's thinking about shooting. Zucker hits the first of 2 huge free throws for the Max. Halpert, Reef, and Terrell are in the backcourt discussing how they're going to handle this next possession. Zucker swishes the second, so we're back to a tie game.
And Zucker's got just 5 points on the night, but boy, can you argue about how huge he has been for Yeshiva.
Yeah, he's been spectacular tonight. So the Max are back on D. Golden Eagles trying to get something going and respond to those two. Malloy with the inside position. He goes up with it. That's good. And so Malloy gives the Golden Eagles another 2-point lead. So it's 2:20 left to play here in this contest.
What did we talk about in the pregame show? Dribble penetration.
And so here's Leifer. Terrell with a hand in his face hits that one. And now the Max are looking for a big stop with 2 minutes left. Coach Steinmetz talking about how big and how lackluster their stops were in the last game against Farmingdale State, 2 games ago. Now we'll see what they can do here on this Saturday night. Malloy. Defense chants raining down as they have been. Here goes Tabata, and he hits. He was a little cold before, but he hits that clutch shot.
Yeah, he hasn't made a shot in a few possessions. Now he's got 14 on the game, and St. Joe's with 1.5 minutes to go has the lead on Yeshiva.
So it's crunch time here for the Max. Terrell goes up with it himself. That's no good. Too short. Here goes Leifer. Up with it. He's blocked. Zucker comes down with it. They're going to call it jump ball. That's going the way of St. Joe's Long Island. 1:18 left to play. And this is a huge play for the Maccabees.
They need a stop here.
They need a stop. Boy, this is huge. 1:16 left to play. Scholler bringing up the ball for St. Joe's Long Island. Ofek overcommitting to Hurt there. Taken by Tabata. Tabata down to Scholler for 3. He gets the roll. 5-point lead for St. Joe's Long Island. Boy, what a fortuitous bounce for Tabata. Excuse me, Scholler. And now the Max find themselves down by 5 with 55 seconds left to go.
And how many points do the Max have? 67. In the last 2 games, they've had 75 each. The Max offense has not been providing what they need out of it. And St. Joseph's been hitting their shots, so what is there to say?
Got a great bounce there, not trying to discount that shot. It almost looked like the Max were going to be not home free, but just a little bit too much space there for Scholler. Got a good screen, very reminiscent what happened on that last play, on that last scoring play from Farmingdale last week.
Yep, and now Scholler is 3 for 4 from 3, and St. Joe's Long Island is 10 for 18 from 3. And they're shooting better from 3 than they are from 2.
So if you're YU, what are you trying to do here?
Score.
St. Joe's, you can see in their huddle, they're feeling it. As we mentioned before the trivia question, last time St. Joe's beat the Max, 2017, 5 years ago. And it's looking like they may be able to do it again here tonight for the first time in quite a long time.
And there's little to say here. This right here is perhaps the defining moment of the Maccabee season.
They're going to bring up the ball here, see how they handle their business. Here goes Terrell for 3. That's no good. And now they're going to have to foul, and this one may just be too little too late for the Max now. 42 seconds left. Down 5.
And I am going to criticize Terrell there for calling a ball screen from Leifer. And how many ball screens are part of the motion offense, Dave?
On ball screens?
On ball screens.
0.
0. And in one of the most important possessions of the year, on ball screen.
A lot of questions being asked from the three leaders who are in rebounding positions. Malloy misses that crucial free throw that may come back to haunt him. Still a lot of uphill climbing for the Max. But now at most a two-possession game.
Yeah, I'll just note Zucker fouled out of the game right there.
And so Batesh checks in. I'm curious to see if there's any possibility they'll try to get him an open look from three. He's got White, the hot hand from downtown. Malloy sinks the second. And so here go the Max. 40 seconds left. Timeout called by Coach Steinmetz.
It's going to be a full timeout for the Max.
So St. Joe's 73, Max 67. A little bit of a breakdown there in the final few minutes of this game. Even though the Max weren't up by a lot, they still had the lead for a couple minutes preceding that. And now they're looking at possibly their second loss in 2 weeks.
And we spoke to Coach Steinmetz before this game, and he told us about that Farmingdale State play, the last play of the game. Was there any consideration to run a set play? And he said no. Anything that we can get from a set play, we can get from motion offense. And he's right. The only problem is the Max are not running motion offense right now. And it's impossible to win if you're not running your offense. I just would not expect, obviously, a set play here from the Max, because that's not what Coach Steinmetz would do. But there's little to get here other than a kick out from the high post to a three-point shot early on the shot clock.
And so the Max inbound, 40 seconds left. Terrell goes up. He tried getting some sort of contact there, but very smartly done by St. Joe's. They're going to foul McNeely. So the Max down by 4. How did you feel about that with Terrell trying to get the contact rather than taking the three?
Well, it's a guaranteed bucket pretty much, although obviously it almost rimmed out. Malloy has to play straight up. He's got 4 fouls and they're up by 6. But there are a lot of possessions that you need to catch up unless St. Joe's misses their free throws.
And they do not, at least that first one.
And for all the things they've been doing right tonight, they're only shooting 14 for 24 from the free throw line. But what matters most are the ones in crunch time.
And he misses that one. 26 seconds left. Max now will have to push. Batesh, Tariq for 3. No good. Tried to knock it back up as Lifer. 15 seconds left. Here goes Tabata. He goes up with it. He dunks. An exclamation point for St. Joe's Long Island as here goes Terrell up with it. Knocks it down. 8 seconds left. 4-point game. They'll foul, but this game is almost as good as over.
And you got to give a lot of credit to this St. Joe's Long Island team. I mean, they lost to the Max by 24 points. The first time these two teams met. And here they are, 7.4 seconds away from knocking off the number 15 team in the country, which, assuming they lose this game, is not going to be ranked next week. Dropping the Max to 3rd in the skyline and solidifying themselves as the number 5 team in the conference.
Scholler hits that one. Timeout called by Coach McSloy. We'd like to wish a thank you to our who's been working on this broadcast with us, Director Ezra Jacobs, Technical Director Aharon Traurig, Assistant Director Andrew Jacobson, Associate Producer Ari Schopf, Segment Producer David Price, Cameramen Zack Wild, Ben Zukerman, Moishe Rechester, and Donny Berlinger, as well as our very special friend and tech engineer Justin Safier, for their work on the broadcast tonight?
I mean, at this point, they're 7.4 seconds, so I guess there's always a shot. But you got to look forward to the Mac's next few games. They play College of Mount St. Vincent, and then they play St. Joseph, Connecticut, and then they play St. Joseph, Brooklyn, and then the playoffs are right there. And you're talking about a team in a tailspin. That's essentially what they are in. 3 straight awful basketball games against conference teams.
Here goes Terrell for a 3. He gets called. No good. He'll go up for 3 free throws, and I guess the win percentage of St. Joe's might have gone down a little bit there. If Terrell hits these, I'm just saying, if Terrell hits these 3, you could foul. They miss 2, and then you have a shot at another 3.
Not so feasible, but well, maybe I've seen crazier, maybe.
Terrell hits the first. And the second.
They only called it a 2
They only called it a 2. So that really is the end of the game. 3 seconds left. They'll foul Scholler. The Macs are going to play this one to the very end. Not going to go down quietly.
Haven't had a stretch like this of 3 straight games of 75 or fewer points since the 2018-19 season, Dave.
And that's it here from the Max Athletic Center. It's St. Joe's 79, Max 76, as St. Joe's defeats the Maccabees for the first time since 2017.
And the Macs are the number 3 seed.
And the Macs are the number 3 seed.
For now.
Farmingdale
stayed in control.
Certainly unranked heading into next week. But a tailspin doesn't even, I think that's sugarcoating what's going on.
It does not come close to explaining what has happened to this team in the second half of the year.
Maybe a little bit too much hype and a little bit too much fanfare around what the actual game is. But here they find themselves in quite the situation. Huge congratulations to Coach McSloy and the St. Joe's of Long Island Golden Eagles. As Ryan Terrell, signing autographs over there for fans.
I mean, there's nothing more special than Ryan Terrell when you want to talk about a guy who is obviously not in the best spirits right now, understanding his role in the Jewish community as a hero to kids.
Akiva, thank you so much for all of your work on this broadcast. Obviously, a lot goes on behind the scenes. That's attributed to Akiva Poppers.
Appreciate that. What's there to say, Dave?
What's there to say? Not much to say, but obviously, all can be corrected in a few weeks from now, but they have a lot of work to do. And I'll say this, to say that this team has not regressed, I just do not agree with that, and I do not agree that status quo is the way to go. I do think that you have to change something. It doesn't have to be anything necessarily tangible, but something about this team needs to change moving forward.
What would that be? I mean, we've seen some lineup changes, but that hasn't really produced much. We've seen talking about how we have to get back to our principles, and the players haven't gotten back to their principles. It's clearly a mental thing at this point. The talent is there. This is one of the most talented teams in the country. The fundamentals are not there. The play is not there.
And so when I say that non-tangible things, that mindset, how do you get back into that winning mindset? When they were on a 50-game win streak, They didn't need much motivation. That was a great line. They didn't need much motivation. 50 games was not much motivation needed. But after they got destroyed by Illinois Wesleyan, and I think even after they got destroyed by Illinois Wesleyan, I'm not sure they took the right approach even after that.
Yeah, but look at how they played out of the break. They beat Mount St. Mary by 40. They beat Sarah Lawrence by 51. We've seen sparks of what this team could be, and they looked engaged in some games.
My issue with that comes with the fact that when it came to teams that are posing threats to them in the skyline, they just were unable to, deliver on a somewhat bigger stage than what was earlier in the season.
No less teams which they had beaten earlier on. I mean, they had beaten Farmingdale State earlier on. They beat St. Joseph College Long Island earlier on. They beat Old Westbury by 28 points. They scored 105 on them just a few months ago.
It just is seemingly something that it's almost unexplainable, and really has to be. And especially, we spoke to Coach McSloy, and it wasn't like he was saying, and we asked him, is there anything that coaches have is the cat out of the bag a little bit? Are they tipping something? Is there something maybe that teams have caught on to? And his answer was no. It's not about teams catching on to anything in particular. It's more about the fact that maybe there's a little more confidence on the side of the opposing team and a little bit less confidence on the side of the Macs.
Yeah. Here's what's very interesting. Obviously, St. Joe's played his own the entire game. The Macs shot 23% from 3. And those shots weren't always very open, but they were decently open. I mean, we're not talking about awful looks. And the Macs just were not able to hit their shots when it counted. And that's nothing but a mental thing. That's not a talent thing. Even that's not a fundamentals thing. It's a mental thing. And I would say even benching would not help that. There's really nothing that can help that.
And so hopefully they will be able to turn things on in the near future. This will be Akiva, thank you for all of your work on this broadcast. This is going to be my last hurrah. I mentioned it on Twitter. This is my last time putting the headset on, at least for the Macs. And so thank you for all your work. You took over for me.
And thank you for all of your work setting us up to where we are right now.
Thank you. Of course, that's my pleasure. I'll shout out to my family. I'll shout out to my wife who's let me come out here and do these broadcasts. I'll give a shout out to my mother who passed away 5 years ago, and she was an artist herself. I'd like to think that by doing this and by entertaining people, this was my form of art in some way or another. So for sure, a huge shout out to my mom who inspired me like crazy to be able to come out and entertain people. And I really just hope that me, the people that came before me, and the people that come after me, we're just motivated to put on a good product, enjoy ourselves, enjoy YU, and really get to experience an amazing broadcast. And I thank the people that came before me for setting me up for that. I think the people that worked with me, I'll shout out Yoshua Siegel, I'll shout out Jacob Dower, I'll shout out a couple, some of the folks that helped us in my time. Akiva obviously also. And a huge shout out to the guys doing things now. I'd like to think I had some sort of part in what's going on now. I didn't really. It was really the guys that are doing it now. They're learning on the job. They're learning what to do. And so a big shout out to everybody. I hope everybody enjoys what we're doing here and appreciates what's done by the really awesome people at Max Live. Thank you so much. I'm going to just be a fan from here on out. Akiva, good luck. You're graduating too soon, so I'm not sure what your status is, but I will for sure be paying a visit to the Max Live booth. And good luck to everybody in the future of Max Live.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for all your work, and hopefully we can turn this season into something special beyond just the broadcast.
And I will be leading those defense chants from now on. Thanks,
Amen.
everybody. Have a great night, and see you on Thursday night for what will be an unranked team against a ranked team.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, everyone.